Hey, everybody. My favorite type of episode here on This Week in Startups is the Ask Jason episodes. We used to do these a lot because we didn't have Emmy Award-winning producer Jackie, and we had no producer, really. So when we couldn't get a guest or a guest canceled, we just would get a bunch of questions from Twitter or Facebook or email, and we would just answer them. It was filler content, let's be honest. It was easy to produce. But now, with 100,000 people watching every episode, and hey, listen, it's 7-8 years later. I'm a lot more famous. I've done a lot of angel investing. When I started the show, I really wasn't doing a lot of angel investing. I get questions constantly. When we get questions, we tell people, hey, email askjason@launch.co, askjason@launch.co. They send in their questions and we save them up. And so today we're going to try to rifle through a dozen questions or so. These are common questions for 2016. Some of them will be timeless questions. Some of them will be very much about the moment. So let's get right into it. Our first question is from Patrick. And Patrick asks, can a startup with some failures woo new investors for future products or product releases? Patrick, this is a great question because what you're combining here is the natural process of startups, which is pivoting, iterating, and dealing with failure, with the other parallel process that occurs raising money. You have to be able to do both of these things, and you have to be wise about when to do them. Here's what typically happens. A startup has an original idea. They iterate on it. They raise money. They try it out. It doesn't work. They iterate on it. And iterate means just, like small changes. They refine it, go from version 1 to 1.1, 1.2. Sometimes they do a wholesale pivot. And the pivot can be small. And when the pivot's small, I call it iterating on the idea. Same idea, just iterating on it. When you pivot, a lot of times you're saying, hey, I'm taking what I've learned here and I'm just going to totally, change into a new idea. So a major pivot. Okay, we were going to do enterprise software, then we decided we'd do Airbnb, et cetera, et cetera. So if you go to an existing group of investors and you say, hey, I did Inside.com, the app, which we did. And what we learned from the news app business was the news business, people love news. They love curation. They didn't like the app. They didn't use the app. Only 1% of people use the app. Why? Well, people forget about all these other apps on their phone, and they use the top 3 or 4 apps, and they're done. Then we said, hey, if we email that list of people, I wonder if we just email them the news with the oldest platform ever, email, if they will respond better. Turns out 40% of people who signed up for the Inside app would open the email. In other words, 40 to 80 times more usage. And it cost 1/10 the price. So it was massive leverage. Now, I couldn't raise money from those investors based on that pivot. However, after we launched 4 or 5 newsletters and we had our NPS scores and we had a bunch of data, we went back to the investors and said, hey, we think there's a real business here. And they put a little more money in. If I had gone to them exactly after failure, we have a hard failure, now we have another idea, I probably wouldn't have been able to raise the money. So what you really want to be able to do is have enough runway that when you do that pivot, you can get that traction, that data, and present a full case based on it. Because let's face it, if your business didn't work and I got you to put money in, and I'm telling you, hey, the business I told you to invest in doesn't work, you don't have credibility. You have to rebuild that credibility. And so I think, what does it take to rebuild credibility? It takes data. It takes customers. It takes data that shows engagement. What is engagement? Engagement is people actually using your product. So very hard. You're almost better off shutting the company down, taking 6 months or a year to work at Facebook, Google, Uber, whatever, licking your wounds, coming up with another great idea, building it on your weekends, and then going to your existing investors and new investors. Listen, there's more investors you haven't raised money than you have already raised money from, so you can always go out and do another idea. So there's 2 schools there. One, shut the company down, let everybody take a tax loss, and then regroup, get your energy back up, find a great business, and then start with a new cap table with new investors, and maybe some old investors will come back with you if you acted classy and you gave them updates. But yeah, I mean, failure is a common theme amongst entrepreneurs, and as long as you learn from those failures and you act classy, and you stay informed with your investors and you inform them of what's going on, you'll be fine. You will get them to invest again. I like to invest in the arc of a founder's career. So if I see a founder do great work 2, 3, 4 times, I'll invest in them 2, 3, 4 times. Because if I'm not investing in the business, I'm really investing in you. So great question, Patrick. Visit designcrowd.com/twist and save up to $100 on your design project. If you don't know, designcrowd.com is a place where it's a marketplace, and you put up what you want to design, and a bunch of designers go compete and build you a great logo, designs for your website, etc. And they've got over 500,000 registered designers from around the world. It works really simple. You post a brief, hey, here is what I'm looking for, and you'll receive 60 to 100 different designs or more. And you then provide feedback, and you get changes, so you can go back and forth, and then you select the best design and approve payment to that designer. And if this all sounds scary, like, oh my God, I've never done it before, don't worry, there's a money-back guarantee, and I did it for my website, calacanis.com, and for $500, we received over 350 designs. I'm not sure you're going to receive 350. I did tweet it, so maybe you'll receive 60 to 100, but it was amazing. We got a ton of great icons and illustrations and portraits and bulldogs. You can go see it if you go do a search over there. And you can help me select the winning design by voting at designcrowd.com/twist. Their other clients include Harvard Business School, the old HBS, Virgin, HTC, Absolute Vodka, Amnesty International, which was my first job out of school, and over 100,000 other small businesses. So here's your call to action, everybody. Go to designcrowd.com/twist and save up to $100 on your design project. Give it a shot. You're going to love it. I guarantee it. Designcrowd.com/twist, and you'll get $100 off. I guarantee it, but I don't have to guarantee it because they guarantee it. It's got a money-back guarantee. Design Crowd, it works. It's awesome. Go ahead and visit at Design Crowd. Oh, go ahead and follow them on Twitter too, at Design Crowd. Okay.